Wow, don't listen to all the other reviews. This is a fucking good movie. Potentially the horror movie of the year. Tricks. This movie sucked balls. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. This is my review of Afraid, and it will have a few spoilers, but I'm not going to spoil the ending big time for you, but it does have potential spoilers in it because it was such a damn good movie you need to go see it, so I'm going to ruin it for you. Basic storyline of this movie if you don't know it, because the trailer looks good. Now, to me, the trailer looked good, so if you don't know the storyline, Curtis, John Chu, and his family are selected to test a revolutionary new home device, a digital family assistant called AI, taking smart home to the next level. Once the unit and all its sensors are installed in the home, this fucking thing has now got a mind of its own. It's kind of the AI, what everyone's scared about AI happening to us. Pretty good storyline, really. Basic. Has it been done? Kind of. But it's got potential. And then the movie started. Now, the director, Chris Weitz, he did American Pie, which was fantastic. He also did About a Boy, and The Golden Compass, and Twilight. So not all my cup of tea, so his resume wasn't really looking that great before the movie came in, but he tried. Let's talk about the cast, and the cast was actually pretty good in this whole movie, even though the movie wasn't great. But I'm going to do the good and then go to the bad, because the cast were actually pretty good. John Chu, he plays Curtis. This is the guy from Harold and Kumar. Haven't really seen much of him. That's been fantastic lately. I know he did the Grudge remake and all that, but he was actually really good in this and believable. It's just crazy when you look back at Harold and Kumar, how young he was there and now he's playing a dad. But he's very believable, all his dialogue is good, and nothing he does in this movie is cringeworthy. All of his acting is fine and perfect, I think. It's just the script is pretty meh. But he does a good job with what he's got. Catherine Waterston plays the wife, and I think she does a fantastic job as well. I'm going to be honest, I've never seen her in anything before as well. It does say she was in Alien Covenant, but I can't remember her. But anyway, she does a good job. She's believable as the mum, and she does a fantastic job for the whole movie as well. The kids as well, the three kids, those actors, they play it fantastically as well. So all the cast in this movie, I think, did a fantastic job. Unfortunately, the movie itself wasn't that great. And if that doesn't make sense and you're saying you're contradicting yourself, they were all believable enough. They were all believable. They weren't cringeworthy acting. They were good. And let's be honest, it's a bad movie, but it's not horrible and it's not cringeworthy. It's just basic and boring, this movie. The setting and the atmosphere of this movie is basically 70% of it in the house, which is fine. The house looked good, but it wasn't like they had to do awesome cinematography and all that for this. It was just basic. And because there was hardly any kills, you didn't have to go to the extreme to change anything of the cool house that didn't get ruined with any blood at all. No blood. But let's start with a few little positives of the movie. And the best part was it was only 90 minutes long, or 80-something minutes long, but it was only an hour and a half, and that was bearable, 100% bearable. I like a good short movie, if it's rubbish. Like I said, the acting was fine, decent effort by all the cast, and I mean all the cast. They all did a fantastic, fine job. They were all believable with the scripts that they were given to them. Now, the storyline, it is basic, but it's actually not a bad concept. I know a few TV shows have done it, and maybe other movies have done it as well. But the storyline was decent, and that's what drew me into the cinemas from the trailer. I knew it was going to be a blumhouse blunder, but the storyline on paper, here's a decent storyline worth telling. It's basically using today's scare tactics of what can happen with AI. But unfortunately, the whole movie, I was thinking of the South Park episode with Alexis, because this is basically Alexis. They even touch on this is like Alexis, but the next model up. And all I could think of was Cartman going, Alexis, That's all I can think of. The first half of the movie, the director and the script actually does do a good job of keeping you engaged and interested of what AI or AR is going to do and what can happen later on in the movie. But that's for the first half of the movie. I'll continue with that little part when we get to the bad. The best part of the good that I can give you really is that AR hates bullies. So we do get to see that tiny little bit of the evil side almost come out. They just stopped. We got to see that little bit of the evil side of the AI and had potential, but they just stopped it, and it was building to something and a few scenes worth the watch, and then it's just... And even though the first half of the movie was slow, it did keep me engaged and kept me wanting to watch and see what was going to happen. It really did have hints, the first half of the movie. It had hints of it's going somewhere and we're going to get to something big. It's going to get good. But it didn't. And this is where the bad comes in. The director tries to create a mood where you need to be scared of what's to come. He builds it up like you're going to be scared of what's going to happen and what's to come. But put away your tissues because there was no ejaculation, nothing comes. This movie didn't deliver any scary moments at all. It built towards it, it was going to, and then it fizzled. It farted in its own fucking underwear. The last 25 minutes, the third act, if you want to call it that, was very bad and boring. With an ending that was just so lame and so boring, with it just lost all spark. It just fizzled. The movie just went flat and fizzled. Right when you thought something was going to happen and we're going to get some blood, we got another wet fart. Made it not worth sitting through this, really. Like I said, the first half was slow and it was building, and then just to nothing, still nothing. Honestly, it's just a basic movie with acceptable acting, which was decent, the acting. And it's a movie that tries to make us scared of AI, but it delivers a zero of scared, any scary scenes, or kills. Without spoilers, of course. Well, I'm giving spoilers in this, but there's a few less is more ones where you kind of don't see, but you do, but you don't. Anyway, we don't get blood. This is just a basic movie with acceptable acting, which the acting was fine, which tries to make us afraid of AI, but delivers a 0 out of 10 in scariness. If you get scared from this movie, you've got problems. And this movie would have been probably perfect for a TV series episode of something. Maybe Amazing Stories or The Twilight Zone would have been an absolutely perfect episode for The Twilight Zone. Absolutely fantastic. But for the big screen in the cinemas, Blumhouse, you've done it again. Would I recommend you go to the cinemas and watch this? Fuck no. Do not waste your money and go to the cinemas and be bored. Once it's on Netflix or any other streaming service, definitely have a watch, but you'll probably get bored during this film. Half of you will probably finish it, half of you will probably turn it off. But I stuck through it just for you. It was my day off anyway. This one gets a 3 out of 10 blood popcorns. Take away all the blood because we didn't get to see any blood. It was not scary. It was not fun. I was bored. Let's just say if you thought Night Swim sucked and you thought Imaginary sucked, well, guess what? This is up with the fucking suckiness of those two movies as well. Night Swim was better than this. Night Swim tried to scare us. Imaginary was just another fucking fart in the old jocks. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like, subscribe, do what the fuck you want. I'll be back next time regardless. Make sure you say hi to your mum for me. And I'll be back with whatever I watch next. I'll tell you one thing. I wish I went and saw The Crow instead because... fuck. See you.